Let's talk about some things you're not supposed to talk about on a real estate channel, if you will. Everybody that's following, we've talked a lot about Roatan real estate for the past several years. We've also touched in on a little bit about, well, what happens in a natural disaster, as I had a home of mine in Colorado burned down in a wildfire. And let's just touch on some things. Most people know that I'm a US citizen, that I'm a legal resident in Roatan, well, in Honduras. However, I have been an illegal immigrant for several years, and I'm able to publicly state that because, well, I paid a fine and there's a clear path to be able to become a legal resident of the country of Honduras. So just the channel is a real estate channel, but it's also about a lifestyle, going to a place where, you know, you can retire, where you want to raise your family and moving to a new place. And that's because Roatan, as of right now, we have a population of 130,000. And when I first got here, it was around 70,000. So it's changed a lot, and there's a lot of good. There's a lot of things that could be better, if you will. But at the end of the day, we choose Roatan, or we choose Central America. I'm grateful that, well, as a fellow American that was born in the United States, there's North, Central, South America, so there's a lot of us in here. As well, I've been an American my entire life. Now I have a legal status to live in Honduras, which is where I'm raising my family. And one of the most amazing things I think about this wonderful country, and Central America and Latin America as a whole, I would say, which I did not appreciate until I had children, was the importance of family, doing what is best for the children, always doing what is best for the family unit, because that is so very important. And even things, I know what's going on in the United States. Obviously, that's what triggered this. And so, are we talking about politics? Kind of, but at the end of the day, we're talking about being a human being, and I'm talking about doing things. Well, my path, I started off as an illegal immigrant, and I didn't become a legal immigrant until 2017, and I did pay the Honduran government for that, which is why I can openly say it. It's because it's nothing, I don't know if you can find it, but it's just the truth, and that's when I got my legal status. I did not have it from 2009 until that 2017. And then I also didn't do some things in 2020 during COVID, and so then I also had to pay another fine. However, status is legal. But I can say all those things because I am of a legal status, and I am able to say that. My children are legal. And so it's nice to be able to say that, and just the importance Central America really has with what I noticed, even being pregnant in Central America compared to North America. As in the bank lines, I have to wait in line. If you're pregnant or elderly, you get to go in a special line and not have to wait. I had people offer my chair or offer me a chair, things of that nature, or just I would say go out of their way more so than I've ever seen in any other country. And I'm not saying the US is bad. I'm just saying what I noticed was just the cognizance of someone, you know, I've got a lot of weight up here, and it's, you know, not the most comfortable position. Anyway, and just the importance family is, and it goes even to flying on Central America and South America airlines. I don't ever feel, well, one, the airfare is cheaper for children. Isn't that awesome? Or the ferries going from La Ceiba to Roatan, or Roatan to Utila or Guanaja. They're cheaper. Flying to Belize or flying through the Central America countries on a Central America airline, or even Avianca, which is a Colombian airline. I've heard a lot about Colombia as of late. And it's cheaper to even fly with children. And it's one of those things that just makes the family unit so important, and it's dynamic. And I've never felt bad for maybe one of my children not acting as appropriate as maybe they could, or acting like a tired child that's hangry and needs a nap or missed their nap. Versus in the United States, I just never felt that warmth. And as someone that grew up working in the United States, especially with business travel, I wasn't always, like, if I heard a kid like not being great on an airplane, that annoyed me. And so I was in that until I had children. I'm like, oh. And then I get to Central America and South America, and I start traveling and doing things with my children. And I'm like, holy shnikes, this is a whole different mindset, where it's so very important for that family unit, and it's special, and it should be sacred. And now, well, one of the reasons why I love Roatán, Honduras, and this is not an attack on the United States by any means, but in Central and South America, the priority of family and keeping families together and those things are just such at a core of our culture. I think it's one of my favorite things about living in Roatán and why I'm so grateful to be able to raise my children in this wonderful area and this wonderful environment is because everything's so inclusive and it's meant for children or geared toward children, and I never feel like I am disrupting anyone or it's like I'm being difficult. And you do have areas that say, hey, this is for adults only, which is totally fine. And I don't go to those places. It's nice to have different sections, just like on a cruise ship. You have different sections, adults only. It's nice to go over there. And so it's just one of my favorite reasons, well, one of the many reasons that I like Roatán, Honduras. We're also a bit of a melting pot, if you will, because we do have a native population of around 100, well, I think these, I don't know if I agree with all of the stats, but we do have a population of about 130,000, where you do have native islanders. Last time I heard around 70,000. You do have a lot of people from mainland Honduras, and you also have a decent bit from Central America. And you also have 15,000 immigrants, if you will, or expats, immigrants. There's a big perception difference about the two. However, we're the same. One's going north, one's going south, or the opposite. So anyway, that is what it is. But we're a nice melting pot, if you will. That's, well, the United States used to say was amazing and called New York the melting pot because we had so many different cultures coming together. And that's also what's great about Roatán, Honduras and the Bay Islands is we have so many different cultures coming together. So many different, well, there's just so many people from all North, South America, Europe, Asia. We have just a really nice conglomerate of, well, the best of all the worlds. We get to kind of bring it together with food, different culture, different activities and things of that nature, which makes this place really unique. And well, I'm so grateful to call it home. So if you're thinking about moving and maybe, hopefully you have a better reason than being concerned that your family is going to be separated, because that's, well, as a parent, that's something that we never want to have to deal with because it's unspeakable. And if you are concerned about it, Roatán is we are a dual language, well, legally, we are a Spanish-speaking country. Most people do speak English in the Bay Islands, as it used to be a formerly British, just like Belize and Grand Cayman. And if you are considering Roatán or somewhere in between, or somewhere where you don't have to worry about or want a place that you think is optimal for your children, well, I think Roatán could be a great place for you. So thank you guys for tuning in. I wish everyone